on this lovely Sunday. It's wonderful weather over here. Slightly overcast, keeping the heat off of us, and still just beautiful weather. So prayerfully, you also have some great weather where you are, and prayerfully, this message finds you well. So this is our weekly summary. We're going to be going through all of the work that we did this last week, the articles, the books we've been working on, and specifically the radio shows. So to begin with, on Tuesday, if you guys weren't aware, we do a patron-only Ask Me Anything, and that is for Leviticus level and above patrons. We join together for an hour or two, and we have a special channel in the Discord server for those patrons, and we just kind of hang out and answer all the questions that patrons have. So far, it's like 1 or 2 people join every every month. So if you really want to sit down and talk with Zen, like basically one-on-one, that is a great place to do it. You know, we get a lot of requests. People ask, you know, how much does it cost to get a one-on-one with Zen, like to have a phone call with Zen? And we're like, man, it's not really about money. Like, we would love to just be able to talk with all of you, right? We just don't have the time to do that. So we do block out that 1 or the 2 hours every last Tuesday of every month, and that is our Patronal AMA. So check that out. If you haven't been to patreon.com/Sacred Word Publishing, you can sign up there and get some awesome benefits. We just sent out the monthly free ebook and free book code as well. And yeah, looking forward to the next Patronal AMA. It's always a really good time, and people get to ask really intimate questions. It's not live streamed, it's just on the Discord server in that private channel. So yeah, check that out if you are interested in that. We definitely appreciate all of our patrons, all of the support that you guys give us. It just helps us continue to bring this whole ministry to you in all aspects that we're operating under. So to continue on Wednesday, hello to Shelly. Shelly says, God bless you all. Yes, God bless you all.
God bless you.
It's awesome to see you all doing well today. So to start off with, on Wednesday, I actually took over from my dad's show on the first Wednesday of every month, and now I'm doing the Ask Me Anything with author and researcher Gary Wayne on that Wednesday show. So we had that show. It was a very interesting show. Lots of questions about prophecy, as always. Lots of questions about mythical creatures and things like that. I think there was a question about the Thoth, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. That's what it's called? So, yeah, Brother Gary finds a great interest in reading all of those extra biblical texts as well, and really seeing how they kind of fit into the narrative of the scripture, just like we do. So it's awesome to have Brother Gary join us for that Ask Me Anything. It's always a great time. He has so much research done, so definitely appreciate him for joining for that show. If you are interested, check that out. We always take live questions, and the questions that we don't get to from the live questions roll over to the next episode as the pre-made list. So if you have a question for Brother Gary, join during that live Ask Me Anything. It's the first Wednesday of every month, and yeah, you can ask your questions there. Actually, come to think of it, on Monday, we forgot to mention this. On Monday, we had our Ask Me Anything with Dr. Joy. So it was an Ask Me Anything week because Thursday we had our Ask Me Anything with my dad. So literally 4 Ask Me Anythings that we did 4 days in a row. Yeah. So awesome. Dr. Joy always is a very passionate speaker and has a lot of conviction, and definitely appreciate the studies that she brings forth as well. So definitely check that out. I think we have a list of questions for her for like months out, but she always is still taking questions, and if there are like some really good questions that she really wants to speak on, we'll sneak those into the list for that show. So you can always reach her on Facebook or visit her website, drjoy.com. So on Thursday, we had our Ask Me Anything with my dad. And before we get to that, Wednesday night, we were supposed to have Wednesday at midnight, we're supposed to continue the Genesis Revisited series. If you guys did see my dad's post on Facebook, we also posted it here on the YouTube channel. We gave a little update on the situation with Brother Rob. So he did get potentially CV or a pneumonia from the Take on the World conference. A few people got sick. It hit him pretty badly, and his oxygen levels had gone low. So he was taken to the hospital, and everyone was worried. You know, we're all worried because this is a place where people are mistreated, and medical malpractice is one of, not if not the most lethal thing in America. So he has a lot of advocates reaching out for him, and a ton of you have reached out to us to try to reach out to him. I think that we could probably make a recipe book with all the different teas and like home remedies that people have mailed to us or emailed us to try to give to him. So I appreciate everybody reaching out, but most especially right now, I appreciate your prayers. We have been requesting just keeping him in your prayers. And we did get an update. He's still alive. He's doing okay. He's very tired, but I think he's stable, and they're talking right now with the hospital to get him the proper treatment, vitamin C and things like that. And if the hospital is not going to treat him the way that his family wants, his family is aware now of their rights to pull him out and put him into a hospice to get him the proper treatment without, being intubated and executed. So yeah, we're really happy. Thank you everybody who has reached out. Sorry, we're not able to reply to everybody. We have gotten your emails and we do appreciate that. But we don't want to bother Rob's wife Sheila or Rob himself, because we want him to rest and recover, and we don't want to just continually call them and stress them out. We know that they're probably already getting dozens of calls every hour with worried people. So your prayers are much appreciated, and I think that's the most impactful thing we can do. I don't know when we're going to be picking that series back up. Prayerfully, Brother Rob does get better really quickly, and we can pick it up soon. But yeah, I know a lot of us are missing out on that series. It's a great series, the Genesis Revisited series. So if you haven't already, check out the playlist. They have gone through a ton of Genesis, and they went through the entire book of Enoch, so you can definitely check all that out. So definitely moving on to the AMA that we had with my dad. Any questions that stuck out to you?
One of the focuses of that particular show was the pre-Adamized, the antediluvian world, the war in heaven, how that led to the destruction of the earth, where it became without form and void. And so a lot of that was repeated, covered, and talked about in the AMA. And I believe we gave away the Great Contest one, the War in Heaven, as the particular book of that night. But for those that are interested in the First World Age, you want to know about the world that then was, as spoken of by Peter, check out the newest book releases, the new series, The Pre-Adamites and the Antediluvian World, and also the Dragon Lords, the Antediluvian Kings. Those two books, 800 pages of information that cover all of that, the Atlantean mysteries, the oral traditions, the Emerald Tablets, all of that in one spot. And I don't think there's been anything as extensive about this topic put together in this manner. So go and read that series, and you'll learn probably more than you even wanted to about these topics and issues, the gap theory. But it is something I believe people should know about. It's relevant, important for understanding, I believe, also the First World Age, the mud fossils, the Titans, the Olympians, how all that ties into the Bible, how mythology also there's an underlying truth which unites both. And so, and then when you see the megalithic structures, the archaeology, the Cyclopean, as far as the pyramids and all of that, it helps to explain all of that as well. And so there's great interest, and that was really, came to the forefront in that AMA. And so check out those books. Mm-hmm. I think we have a discount on buying both or something like that.
All of our bundles give you $5 off of each book that are in the bundle. So yeah, we did put out a poll last year on what topic people wanted more information about, and pre-Adamites was the number one suggested topic to cover. So my dad definitely did that, brought forth 2 books, and I think that You've covered that extensively in the past year of shows that
Yes.
you've done. Also, the Thracian Chronicles, I think, is
Right.
that and the Thracian Chronicles are the two things that you focused on so much and brought so much clarity and information forth from. So, one of the things that Sister Lisa and Brother Noble, I think it was Brother Noble George's idea, is to have this mission month. And we're thinking we're going to do this in December. We're going to have this mission month where we focus all on missions. And I think that it would be awesome to have all of our shows on that month directed towards like the Acts of the Apostles and like actual mission work and like
Yeah, the Great Commission.
spreading like most of you know 10% of all the proceeds at Sacred Word Publishing, everything, all of our income goes towards the Endeavor Freedom Orphanage and the orphanages we support around the world. But during the mission month, we would ramp that up to 20% of everything is given. And and also, try to focus on mission work because that really is our mission.
Yes, yes.
We have a mission, not just to study and be solitaire and like try to grow our home and our families, but we also have an outreach calling. So to spread awareness of that and just to be motivational and encouraging to everyone else, I think that would be an awesome time. What do you think about that?
I think so. I think that's a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That this is something everybody should be focused on anyways, because I believe that's one of the most important aspects of even the commandment to love yourself, love our God, and love our neighbor, even our enemies, is to help people, to teach them to fish and even provide them food, shelter, clothing, whatever it is that they may be in need of. And a lot of people forget that or give tithes to churches, and the churches not always use that to feed the hungry or to clothe the naked, but are building other houses or buildings, larger chapels or whatever. But and so give directly to people, and bring that to the focus in the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've always had this vision of like one day having like people would probably see this as kind of like cult-like, but just getting a lot of land and like having dorms, and like every time we pass a homeless person on the road and like, we give them some food or water or her some food or water or something. It's like, I feel like I'm called to do more than just that, like Joy and I know this family from San Francisco that they would bring homeless people to their home. Like they had 3 kids and they were all really young, but they lived in a tiny home too, and they would bring homeless people to live with them, and then they would go to church with them, and like they really were spreading the love of the Most High. They don't know how to speak Hebrew. They don't know Torah perfectly. They just know the gospel and the commandment to love love their neighbors. And I thought that was so amazing, and so convicting to me that I've always had this vision of giving a sanctuary for the less fortunate, like in all that we do. Like I don't have any money of my own. Everything that we have is now for the kingdom of the Most High. If I work, it's not for myself that I work, but it's for the kingdom of the Most High that I work. So with that said, the Endeavor Freedom Orphanage is like a first step towards seeing that reality come into focus. So the beginning of last year, the beginning of 2020, we did establish the Endeavor Freedom Orphanage, and it has been such an amazing journey. I know that most of you probably know you can go to our newsletter archives at sacredwordpublishing.com. You can scroll to the bottom of the page and see our newsletter archives. I give an update once a month. I write an article about the progress that the Endeavor Freedom Orphanage has made. Our newsletter did go out on Tuesday this week, so I think Tuesday or Wednesday this week, so check that out. It is in the newsletter archives, and if you haven't signed up already, it's free to do so. There's no charge, and we give promo codes, we give updates, we write articles, we do book reviews, so check that out if that interests you. But as far as the orphanage goes, we were finally able to get a 4x4 truck. We're so excited. And also, You know, the 4x4 truck, this is something we've been fundraising for almost all year. So we were finally able to get this thing because, you know, the trek to the village to go get supplies and like even to just get water for daily needs was such a long walk for the children. And like they would have to carry these big buckets, you know, just to like wash their clothes or like, you know, have food, water to eat, to wash themselves and things like that, or to just have water nearby to drink. So with the truck, they're able to all like, I think like 10 kids can pile in at one time and they're so happy. So if you haven't already, check out facebook.com/EndeavorFreedomINC. You can see all the photos. The kids are just like piling in the truck and they're all like really giddy with their little, they all have little plastic buckets and they got all their dirty clothes in there and they're just like, you know, along for the ride. They're so happy because they've been pulled out of these horrible situations of poverty. And now they have this home and this family that is Christ focused, and they have a land that you all have helped provide for them. It's so amazing. I mean, you are making an impact in the world. So check that out. If you haven't followed it, it's not like we get anything for following it. We want you to get something from it, to see the impact that you're making in the world. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's something that just like keeps me going in the morning, you know, if I'm tired. Of course, I can look at Eliana and my wife. Of course, I'm really happy when I see them, but also when I see these children from around the world that, you know, we're making an impact in their lives, it's really encouraging, and it's definitely further convicting to do more of that. So yeah, I appreciate all of you.
That's the real work.
Right? Yeah, to love the orphans and the widows. You know, true and undefiled religion is this, that you look after the orphans and the widows, right? And that you spend time with them in their time of sorrow. So, yeah, really, really amazing work that you're all doing. I appreciate your partnership. It's so beautiful, so wonderful. The last one show to talk about, no, 2 shows. Last night we had our Digital Readers Club. So every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have our Digital Readers Club. And we finished our second to last study through the book of the Order of the Ancients. So this coming Saturday will be our last day on studying the writings of Abraham. It's been an awesome read. It's been such an amazing read. There's such a unique perspective on a lot of the stories that are touched on in the canon but not expounded upon, and also expounded upon in other stories like the Targum and Jasher and Jubilees, that you actually get a little different of a story here in the writings of Abraham. So I always find it so interesting to see how they all add up and how they all align. But definitely check that out if that interests you, and join us for that last study next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be our last study through the book of the Order of the Ancients. So we're taking votes now for our next book that we're going to be moving into. So if you have a book that we haven't covered already that you'd like to see us move into, write in the comments down here or let us know in the Discord server. We're going to be tallying up the votes, and whichever book gets the most votes, we're going to move into following our study this Saturday. So anything from the writings of Abraham that you wanted to bring forth here?
The story of Lot and the angels, and it talks about in this manuscript that, you know, even though he offered up his daughters, he protested and chastised them and told them that if you do this act, the Most High is going to bring judgment down upon you. And so it wasn't, you know, as we just see in the regular. I thought it was the Sodomites that said, we're going to do this to your daughters. Right,
and
exactly.
He said, no, you're not going to.
Right, exactly.
He was actually protecting his daughters.
He was protecting them, exactly.
With the canon, he's like, you know, take these instead.
Right,
You're always like,
how does that make any sense? And and why would a father just allow that?
Yeah.
And so, we see in this story that he's like, no, and you're going to be, if you do this, judgment's coming down upon you. So that's very interesting. The only other thing that I want to make mention is I know that we had at one time provided and made the medieval Irish Apocrypha available, and I had to alter a couple different things. I will finish that up. This is my promise to you. I will finish that up this upcoming week, and we will make that available again in the stores and in the Sacred Word Publishing Store, because it is also a fascinating book, a manuscript to read, and possibly one that we may consider going into soon for the DRC as well. So I'll definitely get that done.
Really interesting. And speaking on books that we're publishing or getting republished, the Prophecy for Children, the Divine Order of Creation, was finally approved by the printer last week, but now I'm waiting again on them to print my proof copy. There was a little change that I had to make, so still waiting on that final proof copy to come, and then prayerfully all will be well and those orders will be able to be fulfilled.
Nice.
Also, new book getting ready to come out, Yahuwah's Unique Timepiece Part 2. Check that out.
The expanded edition.
The expanded edition. It's part 2 of Sister Diane Cover's book on the unique timepiece, the calendar, and how all of the luminaries function in relation with the calendar. Super interesting stuff and really just full of great resources. Looking forward to presenting that one to everyone. We actually had a class today,
Yes.
as most of you probably saw earlier. We had our Enochian calendar class with her. That is normally a once a month thing, and she drives all the way down here with her husband Denny. Actually, he drives all the way down here with Sister Diane, and we share a meal together. And such a beautiful family, great
Yes,
discussion.
we love them.
And the presentation today was awesome. She really puts in a lot of work in making graphs. She charts everything out for you to see, and like, I feel like you can really study these graphs and learn a lot from them on, how all of these things operate, according to her interpretation of the Enochian lunisolar calendar. So definitely appreciate them. It's a wonderful time that we were able to spend with them. Awesome meal. She is such an awesome cook, and she always cooks, wonderfully healthy food. It's so awesome, definitely, and delicious food, of course. So, anything else you wanted to bring forth before we bring this weekly
There was
summary
an
to a close?
ask for the link. You can find that also on our live stream on this channel, Zen Garcia, and it will also be probably placed on the Endeavor Freedom. I don't know if you moved those.
For a link to what?
A link to the show that Diane did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just youtube.com/Zen Garcia, and you'll see it's one of the
Recent ones.
the most recent.
Yeah, right
episodes.
before what this will be uploaded.
Sometimes when you go to videos, you have to sort it by uploads or live streams.
Live streams,
so,
yes.
Yeah, most of the shows that we do are under the live stream category. So, yeah, with that said, I think we're going to bring this weekly summary to a close. We really appreciate everybody for joining in. I'm sorry I can't see all of your comments, but I do see you that you are there, and I appreciate you and your encouragement and hanging out and growing this family. Every day, every week, it's like growing so much, and I just love to see that the community growing, and most especially, your faith growing. So that is so special to me. I really appreciate you being a part of my family, accepting me into your family, accepting us into your family is a wonderful thing. So prayerfully, you have a blessed week, and we will see you throughout the week for the live streams.
Yahuwah blessings.
Shalom.
Shalom.